Hello and welcome to another update video about Cardano and Bitcoin. In this video we're going to take a look at both charts, and what an important day. What an important day for Cardano but also for Bitcoin. As anticipated, we are continuing to climb higher here for Bitcoin, and good news is that Cardano finally follows as well. It's actually leading the way at the moment a little bit because it's outperforming Bitcoin here in the last 7 days and also in the last 24 hours. Which is good, we take a closer look at the chart. Some of the other cryptos that did really well in the last few days, like Avalanche and Terra Luna, bit weaker today. Just when my sell orders were triggered, as mentioned yesterday on Discord, just because we were getting overbought, so it's logical that they are now weaker while others are catching up. Bitcoin, there we are. Bitcoin doing really well. I go to the 4-hour chart just to show you a little bit more detail. Perfect. I mean, what we can see here, we are, in my view, still, this hasn't changed at all. Still in this larger correction A, B, C. That correction started back in April, moved all the way down to A. Some people might only have called that a correction. Then we moved up in a small bull run, but actually was part of a larger correction, A, B, C, as per the Elliott Wave method. And now we're coming down in that wave C correction, okay? Now, a wave C correction consists of, again, various waves. We had here, for example, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the way down. What we see now within that wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we probably have completed that. Yeah, now we are moving up after a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 move. An ABC follows, a correction. In this case, the correction goes up because the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 impulsive move went down. So you get the correction that corrects the preceding move to the upside, but the correction, which is that larger wave B, consists of ABC, yeah, and within that ABC, which we are currently doing, we are now in the wave C. In my view, this is not, it's hard. In the end, you can only always make assumptions and predict, and in the end, only you know really what happened. But overall, this has been very accurate, and everybody who's been following me for a while knows that. It's pretty much playing out as expected. After we hit the low, we came up to the A here. If we draw the fibs from down there to the high, we found support at the 0.618 fib level. That's when I said I would expect a turnaround, and we did that, came all the way up, climbed the fibs up. Then I gave you here this blue area where I said, if we drop below that, it wouldn't be great. In the worst case, we could still drop here to the descending trend line, that former resistance, now support level of the descending wedge. If we drop below that, that was a fake out. But yeah, we exactly came back to that level, but we found support there, which is what we wanted. Showed you that this could also have been a bull flag, and it played out to the upside, further continuation, which is great. Remember when I said in the beginning of this week or end of last week, I said that this week we should really start to move up, and we're doing that. So all of that really looking really good, and everything pretty much working according to plan. We are climbing higher here. We're now above 50k. I said earlier today that we need to get above 50k to really build an impulse here, and we are doing that now. And that is the wave C, in my view. A wave C is impulsive. We're doing that now. Also, what I said, that this wave C, or the larger wave B that we see here in green, is really only confirmed as soon as we get above 52k, because then you get above the high of the wave A. Only then we can really call it confirmed. But then there's also not much space left for the target area, but that doesn't really matter too much, because we are on the way already. We are on the way. I think it's looking good, and I think we can expect further move to the upside. You can see it on the 4-hour chart that the stochastic RSI is only turning around. It's moving higher. Here we had a bullish cross again on the MACD, so we are moving higher. It's looking really good. And then we get into the target area. Ideally, that sits between 55k and 63k. We could even go a little bit higher, but I would say we're landing somewhere in this area, ideally in the middle, somewhere around 59k. And at that point, then I would expect a turnaround to the downside that could really lead to a larger sell-off. That's when everybody gets too bullish. People go long, leveraged and everything. And that could be when we move above this previous high here at 59k, when people get too bullish and they say, oh, well, we're breaking out, but actually then we're turning around. And I come to the conclusion to all of that by just taking an Elliott Wave count, ABC. So far it's worked out really well, and it has worked out as it seems currently for Cardano as well. I mean, again, I'm very careful with Cardano because we were in such a long downtrend, but it's really looking like this could be the move up. Finally, the turnaround that I expected in this yellow target area. But it is still too early to say. I'd love to see a breakout above 145 first. And to be honest, and nobody really wants to hear that, to be really talking about a confirmed breakout, we would want to get above 245. But yeah, I understand it is quite far away. But really only that, when we hit above here certain resistances there, I think only that would be a confirmed breakout. But of course, nobody really wants to wait that long. So for me, I mean, the current prices for Cardano, you know that, you know, they are great prices generally. Overall, I think, you know my price expectation is still around $4.50 to $5 for the end of the wave in which we are currently getting into. Just to recap where we really are, we started back here at the high in 2017 or 18 with a larger wave 1, a very primary wave 1, come down in a wave 2, which was here in March 2020. We come then up in a wave 3 in white. Don't even know where I have this, somewhere up here. That's the wave 3 in which we currently are. But within that white wave 3, we are actually in subwaves. So we built here back in May a wave 1, came down in a wave 2, and we're now in that green wave 3. Within that wave 3, however, we are again building subwaves. So we're building a wave 1 here, currently in a wave 2. That might now be completed. It's very early to say that, but that might now be completed. We can see that we came down exactly to the 0.887 fib level, pretty much what XRP has done as well. And from there, XRP started to move up now as well. And I think XRP, is it already above $1? Yeah, it is. Fantastic. Came also down to the 0.887. It seems like a lot of altcoins in these corrective moves, in these waves too, they come down to the 0.887 fib level. And there you can again see the power of the fibs, power of Fibonacci levels. It just tells you very accurately where prices can land. From here now we are moving up. We are moving up and we see a nice green candle. That's the biggest green candle on the weekly that we've seen, don't know, since here August. Yeah, so that's good. Of course, the week isn't over. That could within the week still go down again. We don't see the volume. That's a bit of a problem, right? Don't see the volume really. It's a bit of a mess, fortunately. However, we are turning around here. We can see the stochastic RSI is turning around down there. That's what I said already in the beginning of November, that, you know, a turnaround is imminent, but then unfortunately it can remain a while down here. But really, a turnaround must happen. It is the likeliest. Of course, nothing must happen, but it's the likeliest scenario in my view. Now, also on the weekly here, the MACD is going up, or at least the downward momentum is slowing down, and the RSI on the weekly is going up as well. So from a weekly point of view, the longer term trend point of view, we start to see a turnaround of the downtrend, which is extremely good, which is very important. On the daily, we can also see very nicely here. We can see 3 green powerful candles here. You call them also the 3 white soldiers, I think, if one is larger than the other. Again, today's candle isn't closed yet, but it indicates an increasing momentum to the upside. In this case, on the daily, we are not yet overbought because we were just so much to the downside, you know. I did tell you many times before that a breakout above the 50 line of the RSI will be very important. Now, we did that once and it was a fake out, but it is a very good indication that a breakout to the upside occurs. We did that before here, but then we remained a long period below the 50 line. Now, a breakout above 50 on the RSI on the daily is very important for Cardano. But remember last time here, that was back in November. That was only a fake out, unfortunately. It was only a fake out, so everybody was getting too bullish, including myself. So I'm extremely careful this time to, sort of promise too much, but it's looking good. On the MACD as well, we called it here on this channel when we saw it going green, and we've talked about it, and it started to bottom out down here. So it's looking good from that point of view as well. Overall, not looking too bad. I did also expect a retracement here, or at least resistance at 145. You know that that's the 0.786 fib level that provided support before and is now providing resistance, which is expected. You know, when you move up like that, you expect some resistance somewhere, and then you find it oftentimes at the fib levels. And also, not only that, but also we are now overbought again. Powerful to see, however, and that is good, that it typically is when you come to a resistance, yeah, and you couldn't get through it before, like here, you know, the RSI was low. When you come to the same resistance again and the RSI is higher, it indicates a higher probability that you can push through, okay, because the momentum is stronger. Yeah, so that is important to see. Even though we are overbought, it indicates with a higher probability that we could actually push through that 145 level now. So I'm waiting for that, but expect a little bit of a retracement first before we move up higher, because we are now overbought. On the 4-hour chart, on the 1-hour chart, we are also overbought. So just expect a little bit of resistance, but it's looking interesting. You know, we're not rejected very strongly, and probably because Bitcoin is just moving up while we speak, 50.8k. So that is extremely good. So yeah, overall, ADA pushing up together with Bitcoin. Finally, we might really have bottomed out here, and it would be great to see that turnaround, because it was expected at some point in this yellow target area. At some point, I did move the target area, unfortunately had to move it lower. I did originally expect it at 181 level or 145 level, but we dropped another fib, which is still valid as per the Elliott Wave method. And you know, I learned from that as well that a lot of altcoins, we see it now, are moving down in a wave 2 to the 0.887 level. That seems to be a key level for altcoins. So that is something to keep in mind. And it's still valid, very valid count. So from here we could then, if this was the end of the wave 2, which would be great, it would be awesome, then we could move up here in a wave 3 all the way to here. You can see the 1.618 level. The 1.618 level gives us at least a 440, but that is an at least. So I would more likely expect a $5.10.21 or a $6.50 even next year for Cardano, which would be fantastic, and everybody could really use that, you know, and needs that really to stay motivated with Cardano as well, which was really bleeding out here very long. But a lot of altcoins did that. Don't forget, we had Quant, we had XRP, we had VeChain. They all were performing quite poorly. Even Chainlink wasn't great. They're finally picking up a little bit, and yeah, it's, you know, it's only the beginning down here now. I think these are still great prices, especially in the long run. You know, in the end, if you buy at 125 or 145, in the long run, it won't matter in my view. I think this is looking good for continuation, to be honest. I could be wrong, but a lot of factors speak for it, especially Bitcoin's moving. Bitcoin is now 51k, so I better stop now, upload the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you have a great day. I think you have probably today, and see you in the next video. Bye-bye.